Welcome to this edition of Perk Up Your Business, a coffee chat with Ange. So glad to have you here. My name is Ange Dove, and I help aspiring entrepreneurs to build their business from scratch without the overwhelm. So, what I want to talk about today is three common mistakes that people make when they start a business. And that's something that will contribute to the overwhelm and it's going to lead to disaster down the road. So, I want to avoid that happening to you. So, let's get into this. So, really, the first one is trying to do everything yourself. Now, it's understandable that you start off this way because when you're starting a business, usually, especially if you're an expert business owner, meaning you're starting a business because you're an expert in your field, then it's quite natural that you would be the only person working in the business to start off with. Now, if that's you, if that's the case, then you need to be looking to bringing on a team as soon as you possibly can. Now, I know that's not easy and it's scary as well. I understand that. But you'll end up, after a while of running a business, you'll end up just running around like a headless chicken because you're doing all of the work, you're doing all of the roles. And there's 17 different roles in running a business, and you're doing all of them. You're going out and seeing customers, you're meeting with customers, you are doing your accounts, you are sending quotes and invoices to customers, you're doing the work that you're supposed to do for the customer, you're doing all of this, when in reality, with a normal business, that would be all those different roles would be given to different people and you're doing them all. You don't, it obviously you save money, you save costs if you do it yourself. And that is the temptation to think, it'll be quicker if I do it. This whole idea, if you want something done do it yourself. But you've got to relinquish that control sometimes. And when you do, I promise you, when you do start to delegate to other people and let other people in and let them start to do some of the work for you, you will realize that you should have done it sooner. I promise you, because it's a huge game changer for your business. You're just going to burn out if you do it yourself. And I realized for myself, my first outsourcing I did for my business was my accounts because I just couldn't stand doing the accounts. And I'm not a numbers person and I just hated every minute of it. And it always took me a long time. Didn't enjoy doing it, didn't get very far with it. So outsourcing that and just being able to leave that behind was an absolute game changer. So accounts is one of the things you're wanting to get off your plate as soon as you can and just let an expert handle it while you go and focus on building your business. And that's what you should be doing as a business owner, is working on how to build the business, not really working inside the business as much as possible. And then also you don't want to, if you do it yourself, you'll end up like you've created a job for yourself. You haven't created a business. If it's just one person in the business, you've just created yourself a job, but you've created yourself many jobs and you'll end up working harder and longer than anybody in a full-time employment. And you thought you'd escape the rat race, but you've only gone into a different kind of wheel, but it's still a hamster wheel. It's still going around. And it was the same for me, right? When I started my business, I resisted outsourcing. I resisted getting a team. I resisted hiring, but it got to the point where I was so overwhelmed with work, I had to. So then you become responsible for paying somebody's salary. You become responsible for paying the rent in an office because then you'd have to move to an office, maybe. But with modern technology, the way it is today and remote work, you could choose to do everything remotely, still work from home, but have a team that's working remotely as well. That's all possible. But whichever way you do it, just make sure that you do bring on other people to help you, because it's a lonely road down to overwhelm, exhaustion, and burnout if you don't. Okay. And then really, when you get other people to help you, it also gives you free time to be able to, like I said, work on your business rather than in it. And that's, you have a vision for your business. Where do you want to take it forward? You're able to plan that and drive that forward if you have a team. If you don't have a team, it's just not going to happen. All right. So don't just remember, you're building a business, you're not building a job. And that is really done on systems. And that's something that I teach people and I can talk about in another video. I'm not talking about that here, but having systems in your business is really important for you to grow. And that allows you to bring people in. Okay, so that was the first common mistake people make is when they start their own business, they try to do everything themselves, try to save money, and they end up burning out. So don't do that. Another common mistake, and I've talked about this before, is this idea of perfectionism. People want everything to be perfect and they'll be ready to launch their business when it's the right time, when it's perfect, when everything looks right, when everything is done right. This perfect vision it'll never materialize. You'll never get it perfect the way you want it to get it. You'll never be ready for launch. I promise you, you'll never be ready. There's never going to be time. I talk about the analogy I make is when you become parents, you're never ready to become a parent, but you do your best with it when it comes along. This is a wake up call for you, really. You're not looking for perfection, you're just procrastinating. And you don't want to do that for your business. That's not going to take you anywhere. The only thing that's going to get your business moving is action. So you've got to take action. And this is what I see a lot of business owners fail to do at the beginning is they just resist and resist. And it's like anything in life is when you actually do it and then you look back later, I promise you, you'll be thinking to yourself, why didn't I do it sooner? Why didn't I do it sooner? So the sooner is now for you now. Do it now. So you've just got to accept that whatever vision you have for your business, if you're not seeing it happening now, it's okay. Just launch anyway. You just launch with what you've got because done is better than perfect. Just do it. Just launch with what you've got. And then you aim, like there's a Japanese system that does this where you're always improving on systems. You're always looking to improve little by little. So every time something goes wrong in a sense, or it doesn't go to plan, then you build that into your system so it doesn't happen again. And you're always looking for those incremental improvements, not for it to be 100% right first time. Because if you're looking for that 100% right, you're just never going to do anything and you'll be stuck in action and your business isn't going to grow as a result of it. So just accept that nothing is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Just forget about perfect. Just throw that word out of your vocabulary and just work on continually improving. Start from where you are, launch from where you are, and just continually improve as you go along. All right. So that's number 2. It's never going to be perfect. Don't wait for perfect. Just do it now. Okay. Number 3, this is a big one. And this is one I get into talking with people all the time. And it drives me insane that people don't see this. If you're not building your email list from day one, you're making a huge mistake. You are making a huge mistake. I speak from experience there. Not having an email list is a silent killer for your business. And here's why. If you start your business going on social media, marketing yourself, getting followers, you're getting an audience, you're getting people to follow you, but you're not taking them off that social media platform and into your email list, you're taking a huge risk because these platforms are not yours, that you don't own them. You don't have any control whatsoever about how they're run, and they can change the rules at any time and they can leave your business in the dust, basically. And I've seen it happen. I saw it happen when Facebook listed, became a public company. They obviously then were answerable to their shareholders and things changed. And overnight, the algorithm changed. So nothing you put out got seen to anybody. I remember going home one night and as habit, I get into a taxi and I open up my Facebook and I start scrolling through my feed. And it would take me all the way home in order for me to finish the feed. It was a good half-hour journey. It would take me half an hour to go through the whole day's Facebook feed from my account. One day I got into the taxi and I went scroll, scroll, scroll. And then, seen that. Okay, I've got nothing to read on the way home. Everything had changed. And I know people that were running businesses on Facebook at that time, completely relying on Facebook to be able to communicate with their customers. And they were able to communicate with their customers because all their posts that was going out was seen by everybody that they were connected to. That changed overnight and they lost contact with all their customers. No one was seeing their posts and they had no way to reach those customers other than through putting out their Facebook posts. And now these people weren't hearing from them. And because then the algorithm changed to if you respond to somebody, you'll see more of their posts. If you don't respond, you won't. And not everybody responds to everybody on any of these social media channels, right? So that's a huge problem. Another one I saw was a lady who got shut down by Facebook, and that was it. Her business was gone. They shut it down. She had no way to contact her customers on Facebook, but luckily she had built a list. Each of her customers, she had brought them off Facebook and into her email list. So when she was shut out from Facebook, she was able to email everyone and say, look, this is what's happened. I'm working to get my account back. For now, I'm going to set up a group in this place instead. Go over here, log in here, and we'll be able to communicate in here. So her business wasn't lost because she had the foresight to take everyone off the platform just in case. And you want to do the same thing. So you need to build a list. Now, you may come back to me and say, yeah, but email lists are dead. Who checks their emails? Everybody has an email. Everybody checks their emails at some point or other, right? They may have got lazy in a way and just look at these instant communication apps on their phone as a way to communicate, like WhatsApp, things like that. But they still have emails. They still look at their emails. And now, as we're moving towards people getting fed up now of and with the overwhelm of all the messages they're getting on these WhatsApp and other channels, it's now becoming the same as what it used to be with email, that you would get all this spam communication you didn't want. It's the same now with all these instant messages. You're getting spammed with all of these messages you didn't ask for. So there's no escaping from it. It's just, you just substituted one overwhelm for another. That's all. So people do have emails. Emails are still the biggest converting way to convert your customers, basically, because it's a long-term game. You're using email not for instant reactions. So if you're expecting instant reactions, then yes, you have to use these messengers. But even then, you're probably going to be blocked after a while because they're just going to be fed up of listening to you. So email is a long-term game. It's a long-term strategy. It's a long-term marketing strategy where you are just nurturing people over time. You're giving value, then offering something, giving value, offering something. Right? So it's always going to be that way, but it's still a huge converter. So the numbers are something like 343% conversion rate. It's crazy. But it's, as I say, it's, if you're wanting instant results, you're not going to get it from email necessarily. You will get some people, when you send out a blast, you'll get some people that will respond immediately because it just hit their inbox at the right time. They're in the need. They were looking for what you're offering and they contacted you. Other people have seen it, decided not to act yet, but you're in their mind. Next time you send them an email, bam, they're going to respond. So it's a long-term game and it's a numbers game. You're going to have some people converting instantly. Most people you're going to have to nurture over time, but it's worth doing. It's worth doing. That's it really for the 3 things that I've got. So just to summarize, you want to not do it all yourself. Delegate early when you run a business. You want to avoid procrastination in the disguise of perfectionism, and you want to act, take action, do things in your business to make it grow. And you want to ignore email at your peril. You need to be building a list because you own the list. You don't own the social media platforms. Get everyone to your list so that you can always contact your potential customers and your customers. It's really important. If you like what you hear, then like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you get notifications of the next things that I put up. I'm here to help you to run your business. I'm here to give you tips to help you to run your business, build your brand, all of that good stuff there. All right. So I challenge you now, which of these, just put in the comments, which of these 3 common mistakes are you going to rectify now? Just let me know in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you. All right. So that's it for my coffee chat this morning, and I will see you in the next one. As I say, don't forget to subscribe. It does help me to reach more people. I'm only just starting with this, but I'd love to really grow this and help more people. So I really appreciate you subscribing.